Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Next Car Game Wreckfest. We have been oh so patiently waiting for a new update here in Wreckfest. The guys over at Bugbear have been working on a new physics engine and graphics engine. They moved it up to the new DX11, blah 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 blah. I don't really care about any of that stuff. But let us find out what this new physics engine stuff is all about. I'm a little surprised by all of it because I was so happy with the previous physics engine. I thought the game drove great, it was a lot of fun, and it was easy to be competitive. So it's going to be interesting to see what the changes mean for the future of the game. It does seem as though they are maybe now a little bit more focused on moving forward with the game as far as actual content, development. So what we're going to do is take this American Muscle 3, a new car, out on one of my, one of my favorite courses, and that is Sandpit. And let's see what it's like now. I am using the steering wheel. Alright, so I have brought out the old camera for this because I needed it to show some things that are hard to explain in words. You actually do need to physically see them. But here we go in the regular, just banger race. Very similar to what we're used to. The way the AI are now a little bit more bangable, I guess maybe that could be taken the wrong way, is nice. It seems like you can actually spin them out now, which is cool. That is something that was quite broken in the older version. The actual driving, it's not any more difficult, I would say. As you can see, I'm doing fairly well here, and I've only just started playing. I played for maybe over there 10 or 15 minutes earlier, just to get a feel for the new engine and everything. And yeah, I was able to pretty much be competitive rather quickly. And here we are in first place. But the big question is it better? I don't think so. It's much easier, but it's only much easier with the steering wheel. I tried to play with the keyboard, which I've had very good success with in the past. I was able to be just as competitive with the controller or the keyboard as I was with the steering wheel, but it was always much more rewarding with the steering wheel. The difference is now I couldn't play with the keyboard at all. Just completely uncontrollable. The car would just wander around like crazy. Now this is with all driving assists off, just as I've always used. I've never used any of the driving assists in this game. So, I was, just keeping everything alike. Hello there, fast car. I did not try with the controller. I just went ahead and got the wheel just to see if, it was doomsday. And I was, oh god. Movable objects, and that is a new feature. And you still do crazy flips and crashes. The difference is, and the part that I'm not thrilled with, is the way the car seems glued to the road surface, except for when it's spinning the rear tires. And I've tried open differential, limited slip, and lock. That was the first thing I tried to see if maybe I was just not using the correct differential. See it there. I can look at how much wheel I'm putting into this. Only thing I'm getting is understeer till I hit the gas, and then the back end will come around. That's it's not terrible. It's not completely unrealistic, but we are on dirt here. We are in a very high horsepower car. And the thing I loved about the physics engine before was the ability to just very naturally slide the car around. And that was typically the fast way to drive. And when you're talking about dirt racing, racing on dirt, that is usually the case, that sliding around a little bit is the proper way. But now when you get oversteer, it's very snappy, it's much more prone to spin out, and overall it just seems to slow you down. Yep, there's just no... Oh, car, are you broken? Come out of first gear, or go into first gear, please, thank you. That's all I wanted. Slightly bent car, slightly. But, yeah, it just... Even with that, still first place. It's just not as fun anymore. That's the key part of it. Let's go... Let's see, I think it's Sandpit. Let's look at the tracks. Alright, now we are at Sandpit number 2, and I think this is the more finished track. Now got the gear shifter set up. If I hadn't taken the car out of gear, it would have worked just fine. Just doing some weird things. I guess maybe I'm not lifting enough for shifts or something. Sorry, buddy. There are some other new cars too. I think there's a new European coupe, stuff like that. This is just some minor content updates. Nothing big. They've really been working on this physics engine, which is why I'm putting so much focus on it. Yeah, there's the asphalt. I think the asphalt, really shows some of the weaknesses. So you see how I'm just letting go of the wheel mid-turn, and it keeps turning? The force feedback is awful. It is, if you remember the debacle of the first versions of Dirt Rally, the force feedback was the biggest issue. We're having a lot of the same issues here in Wreckfest. Find a gear, please. Where it doesn't correct for oversteer naturally. It doesn't. Ha! Suck it. See, I love that they fixed that. That is awesome. It's just not telling me anything. It's telling me... Why does that? It's telling me, when I'm getting hits, when I'm getting bumps. A little bit of that understeer feeling, like when I'm understeering here, which is all I seem to do anymore. A little bit of oversteer there. The wheel goes loose. However, it just stays there. So the car is essentially steering itself through the turns. That's not good. That is the opposite of force feedback. It's not giving me any feeling as to what the car is doing. So you just keep giving it input until it wrecks, basically. So, bottom line, if this is the physics engine they're going with, they could still make a very good game out of this. I'm not saying that they've ruined Wreckfest. I'm not saying that all hope is lost. I'm just a little sad because I loved the old one so much. Like, the old physics engine was just so much more fun, so much more fluid to drive. If you look back in the history of videos I've done in this game, I praised the physics engine first. That was like the number one thing I was most impressed with when I first started playing the game. The fact that you could very naturally drift through turns and it felt right. You could avoid trees. And all of that, it was really good. And all I wanted was them to continue developing the content side of the game. But as of right now, it's not that. It's really kind of taken the fun out of it. It just feels very... Look at this. This is not right. I should not be able to do that. Alright, now we are at Tarmac 1 in the New European Coupe. This is always one of my favorites, and the track that I used to praise on the handling so much, so let's see if we can recapture some of that magic. Maybe the asphalt physics are a little better. I still don't know what's going on with the shifting. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Chaos into turn 1, as is the norm. Oh yeah, that's chaos. Sorry, frame rate. It's just struggling. Probably should have put a few less cars on here. Whoop. Right. I mean, it's still very drivable. It's still kind of the same style of racing and everything like that. Getting wheel lock up, things of that nature, so stuff is modeled. It doesn't feel as though it's a simplified physics engine at all. It doesn't, it's not dumbed down, I don't think. Let's see, can I get any oversteer? Yeah, a little bit. That was okay. Actually felt pretty normal. Getting a little lift off oversteer. So perhaps this car, paired with this track, is indeed much better. 5 years? That does. Oops. Certainly much more difficult, although I think this car is just much slower. Alright, so I've reduced the amount of cars out here so I could really focus on driving. So we could really kind of pinpoint what I think needs to be improved upon. The way the cars drive differently from each other is good. They all definitely seem to have their own handling attributes, and I do understand that these cars are not race cars. These are meant to be, junkers that you're going out there and smashing and crashing into each other and are not highly tuned to race. So that part of it I do understand. The shifting has got to be fixed. That is very stupid. The problem I think I have, and the problem I see with most people with the new physics, is the vagueness of the controls. It just seems so kind of washy, and you don't feel very direct with your controls, your movements. It all just kind of seems a little floaty, a little disconnected. It's still possible to go fast. It's, I can hit marks. I can somewhat save the little bit of oversteer that we get. The forced feedback, though, I think is probably one of the biggest problems. It's very hard to feel, what kind of control issue you're having. Alright, guys, I think I'm just going to stop here because I don't want to just dwell on it and seem overly pessimistic about it. I still do really love the idea of this game. I think it has tons of potential. I'm just I know they've worked really hard on this physics engine, and maybe they can work on it from here to bring it back to something that is enjoyable, but it's in its current state. I think they would be better off reverting to the last engine and just adding content. That is all this game needs, is content, and it would be absolutely a top seller, I think. If you had a full campaign mode or something like that with tons of tracks and cars and a decent multiplayer, this game would be a huge hit. That's all it needs. That's all they ever needed to do, in my opinion. And that's where I'm going to end this video. Comment below if you agree or disagree with my feelings towards it. I still will absolutely keep doing videos on this game as it updates, as it progresses. I still really look forward to to playing it, and I really look forward to every update. Hopefully, we'll make some good progress here in the not so distant future. They really do seem like a good development team that just want to make a quality game without a big publisher house and everything like that. So, hi, bye. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.